rejuvenate. So it's rejuvenating. Morning, Aya.
Morning.
Tofik, good morning. Katrina, everyone, good morning to all of you.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm glad you're all signing. I understand it must have been a challenge because yesterday was a holiday. Sorry to spoil your, it's like a sandwich. Yesterday was holiday. Today you have to wake up so early to join us. Thank you, guys. For others who haven't turned on their video, if you could possibly turn it on so we could see you. Thank you. Yogesh, did he send message you? Yogesh? Isan. If he's not coming, Isan Tarek.
Isan, okay. I don't think so. I don't think.
Only Ladi had messaged you. Okay.
Yes, lady messaged me.
Okay, so I guess
She messaged me that she'll be attending again in the second half. She'll be there.
Okay. So I think we're just missing Isan and Adi J.
All right. Nevertheless, we'll start. I think it's already 9.
I'm here already.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, he's here. Good morning.
Morning.
So you are at home or somewhere outside?
No, at home.
Okay. Many people are joining from hotels today, I think, or outside from some camp. That's
Yeah.
why they are not switching on their videos. I'm just guessing.
That's why you have to finish in 1 hour today.
Yeah. Poor Tawfiq is in office. Tawfiq.
No, sir, I had some passports that I have to give to drivers. They have to go for COVID tests to candidates. So that's the
Oh,
reason I
okay,
have to come
okay,
today.
okay. So I'm just guessing that people who are not switching on their videos, they are some good place.
Okay, they are excused for today, sir. Okay.
Yeah, they are excused. Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, so let me share my slide with you so that we can start. All right, so today we are going to discuss a very important topic, which is performance management. So last week we discussed training and development, right? Yeah. All right. So when we say performance management in an organizational perspective, what do we mean by performance management, and how do we define performance for any organization? Because when we say performance management, we are definitely talking about performance of an organization, right? Performance at an organizational level. So how would you define performance management? So what are your thoughts on this? What do we manage actually? Are we going to manage appraisals of individuals, rewards that we need to give to them for good performance? Are we going to monitor them? So what is the meaning of managing performance? Yeah. Okay. Anyone wants to share their views?
As the word suggests, Mr. Yogesh, like it's all about an organization. I mean, what's coming in, what's going out. I mean, how do an organization perform, and how do we manage it to be more effective?
Right. Yes. Yes. Good. So, how an organization performs, right? So we can say achieving organizational performance. Achieving organizational performance, right? But how we are going to achieve organizational performance? That's the second question, which is very important question actually. How we are going to achieve organizational performance? And the answer is only through individuals, right? Through individual performance. Now, if we are doing it, then we are managing the performance, right? If we are able to achieve organizational goals through individual goals, then we call it performance management. What it tells us is that appraisals is not performance management. Because how many times you have found, I can give you at least 10 case studies of different industries, different size of organizations, where the organization thought that they are performing. The individuals are performing, but as an organization, they are failing. For example, a company which I remember, I was their consultant for performance management system for the company. I was the consultant. So in this company, they said we already have the performance management, performance appraisal system we have, and if we look at the performance of our people, they are performing really well. We have around 45% people in A category, A level performers. We have around 20-25% people in B, and rest in C, 20-25. So what they are saying is that most of the people, good 45%, are A level performers. I said, that's great. Rarely I have seen a company where you can say that 45% are A performers. And then I said, okay, so what is the profit P&L of this year? So the company said, we are going into losses from last 3 years continuously. So a company is going into losses consistently from last 3 years, but 45% of the people are A performers. What it tells us? That they are not doing performance management. They are doing something else, which we don't know what they are doing. Many times we have seen in a department, a person, his supervisor, his reporting manager is happy with him. And the reporting manager may be happy because of various reasons, right? Not necessarily performance. He can be happy because you are from the same nationality. He can be happy because you share his views on religion. He can be happy because you like the same cricket team. He can be happy with you because you help him in the grocery shopping. So there can be various reasons, So the reporting manager's happiness is not correlated to organizational performance. That is one thing. We cannot define organizational performance on the basis of reporting manager's view or perspective, because the reporting manager's perspective may be really different, and it may vary person to person as well. If you change the reporting manager, the same performer becomes, failure immediately. If you just change the reporting manager, I have seen many examples where it happened to me only. When I joined a company, there was one person in the department, and this person who had already got 2 written warning letters, he was my assistant manager in organization development. Now he was supposed to report to me. So the managing director said, Yogesh, this guy, be careful, because we have already given him 2 warning letters and we will terminate him upon the 3rd warning letter. And I said, what is the reason for all these letters? And he said his performance. He's not able to perform well. And we are thinking of removing him. The previous AGM was not happy with him. Now you have to see if you want to work with him. Give us, within 1 month, give us a report. Do you want him or you want to remove him? I said, okay, I will look into it. Person worked with me for next 1 year. Now he's still working with the company from last 5 years. So what happened? And after 6 months, the managing director told me that since you joined, his performance is now visible to all of us. And, his confidence has, I have never seen him that confident. And he speaks in front of people now, and he engages with senior stakeholders. Sometimes he debates with them openly. We always thought that he is a kind of very weak guy in terms of speaking with people and sharing his views and engaging with senior stakeholders. But now he's doing it. So what you did with him? So I didn't do anything. I just allowed him to show what he was actually. He was having a lot of ideas, but he was continuously under pressure of the previous reporting manager, and she did not like him because he had a lot of ideas. Now I was allowing him to express those ideas. I was encouraging him. Okay, so it's a good idea. Why don't you follow through it? Why don't you bring some data with this idea? Why don't you make a presentation? Why don't we brainstorm before you go and talk to someone and correct your path? Have a clear long-term plan. Don't just uh, tell someone, okay, you are wrong. You shouldn't do this. So it will never help. You have to first identify pros and cons, then make a roadmap, and then first engage with the person. He's a senior level person. Go and talk to him. For example, he openly said that this department is letting the company down because the department head is not achieving KRAs. Now, this is not going to help anyone. You have to tell them what is wrong exactly. So, why he's not achieving the KRAs, what are the solutions, or what is your suggestion? And then you have to present the data and first talk to the person. He should believe in you, and then you take it to the next level. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you here is that when we just bind the performance of an individual with the reporting manager's perspective, then it becomes perception management. It does not qualify as performance management. So there is a huge difference between perception management and performance management. Perception management is often retrospective. People fake it. People try to be someone they are not. So that is perception management. You are just trying to manage your perception in the eyes of other people. Performance management, however, is slightly different, where you are trying to enhance and improve and shine the performance of an individual in the organization. Now, let me give you a differentiation between two. Like I said, many times people are not able to clearly see the difference between performance management versus performance appraisals. Now, appraisals is the outcome of a good performance management system. Appraisal is the last step in performance management. Okay? Performance appraisal is the last step in performance management. So let's see some of the features of performance management and then appraisals we will compare. Performance management is always strategic. Strategic means what? By now, I hope you all understand. Strategic means it is aligned with the vision, mission, values of the organization. That is why we say performance management is strategic. Whereas appraisals are operational. Appraisals have nothing to do with strategy. They are simply operational. Right now, what we need. Do we need him or not? Let's take a decision on that. What he said, what he did in the last month, let's take a decision on that, basis on that. So it's operational. Performance management is a long-term and futuristic process. You think about a person's performance today and in future. Like, for example, I remember it happened in our own organization. We hired an individual good in his education and attitude and thought process, but he lacked a particular skill. So this is a position which is, you can say, entry level or next to entry level, junior level position. So this person has the right attitude, he has the right education, background for this role, but he is not qualified enough, or he is not skilled enough to currently manage our entire operations. So what we did, we thought, okay, we understand that right now he will not be able to give us the same results which we are expecting a senior level person in this role. If we hire the right person, it will cost us around 10,000 dirham. Okay, minimum 10,000, maybe 15,000 as well if it goes to the project manager kind of position for a software development. Maybe 15,000 as well. So, but 10 is minimum. If you hire from India, 10 to 15 you will get. And also the person whom we will hire, he will not be able to work in the same capacity, because he will say, I need one junior also now. I will tell him how to code, what to code, and I will supervise him. So 5,000, 6,000 more. So roughly 20,000. What we thought, that let's hire a coder, person who can execute it. Maybe let's pay him. Let him sit in India. We will manage him from India. We will pay him good amount money, but at junior level. We hired a junior level person. So I know, and we are prepared that within next 3 years, we are going to groom him to this level. Right now, he's not at that level. Right now, he cannot take decisions which we expect a senior level person to take. We need to handhold him. He will fail, he will fall, but we will accept all that because it's a new project. We are also not sure how it's going to perform. So we will let him fall, we will let him fail, but because he's learning continuously, we will continuously train him for next 1 year, 2 years, so that he is well prepared for the future performance. Now what we are doing here, we are looking at the future. So it's a futuristic process. His performance is being managed keeping in view the future, his role in the future. And you have to take such decisions many times in performance management. Currently his performance is not satisfactory, but you are still investing on a person because in future he can be a good leader. Obviously based on other assessments, not just because he knows the CEO or his relative. It's not about Vasta. It's about investing in the talent, developing the talent. Now, if you look at performance appraisal, here we are retrospective perspective. So we just go back, look back retrospectively. So how he did in the 1 year? What was the performance in the 1 year? That's what we do in appraisals. It is episodic. We do it once in a year, right? Whereas performance management is a continuous process. It's not once in a year. Performance management happens every day, every month, every quarter. You are monitoring, you are assessing. We'll come to those points in performance management. So it's continuous. Appraisal is episodic. Very important point is that performance management is integrated with organizational performance, whereas performance appraisal is not integrated with organizational performance. It is all about the individual. Like I gave you an example, a company which is going in losses, but 45% people are A performers. So there is no integration correlation between individual performance versus organizational. Performance appraisals are individualistic. They revolve around an individual. And usually there are many biases which come on the way. Like for example, I remember one CEO, we were having a discussion and he said, so who is this John? That guy, short, bald, working in the operations. Oh, yeah. Oh, his name is John. Okay. So you have given him A. Why A? Oh, he's now the reason why he's A is that He's very sincere. He always comes on time, and he is he has already worked with us for last 2 years, and he's soft spoken, never fights with anyone. So we are giving him A. So basically, he's getting A rating for his behavior, not for his performance. Okay. Then the CEO said, but I have seen this person smoking few times. In fact, one day I saw him 4 times going out for 10-15 minutes and smoking outside the gate. Why you are giving him A? We don't want to, create such a culture. Give him B, make him B. Oh yes, sir, why not? We'll just make him B. So now that is not integrated with anything. It's not integrated with any company value system or performance of the individual. So it is a perception management, right? It's not then performance. So what happens next time? John will be very smart now from the next year. He will not quit smoking, obviously, just because the CEO wants him to quit. But he will make sure that he quits in front of the CEO. Right? So now John will ask someone, okay, keep an eye on the gate. If his car is coming, I will just drop it and I'll be inside now. Right? Because now John will learn how to manage perception of the CEO. So rigid performance appraisals are usually rigid, whereas appraisal as performance management it's not rigid, because processes can be changed whenever you want. Systems are difficult to change. Now what happens? The result, like I gave you a few examples, the result is in performance appraisals, it disables the performance. Because now people realize in this company, if you want good rating, keep your reporting manager happy. If you want good rating, keep this guy happy. Even if your reporting manager is upset, doesn't matter. But the CEO is the one who matters, because he keeps an eye on everything. Who is smoking, who is outside, who is inside, who is sitting on their place, who is not sitting on their place, who is always nodding in the meetings. Yes, 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 sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Good person. So it doesn't enable any performance. It actually, people learn how to manipulate the system. Sometimes it leads to politics, internal bureaucracy in the company, and it disables the performance. Whereas performance management enables the performance, right? I remember even people go to that extent when you just have appraisal. I remember there was a managing director. He shared with me this example. So he said, I used to get very impressed with people who find out gaps in the system. Okay, so who will come to me and they will say, what is going wrong, sir? This place, this is going wrong. So he said, I used to get impressed by such people that they are engaged in their jobs, and they are giving us gaps in the system, which will help the company to improve. Now, and he promoted few people like that, especially in finance and operations. He's promoted some people. So what happened in the top leadership, there was this feeling that anyone who brings more problems to him will get a promotion. So what happened? He started getting a lot of issues and no solutions, just problems. Everyone is coming, sir, what happened in that branch, and the branch manager did this, that, and I'm sharing with you. And then the managing director said, okay, so why you are sharing with me? Why don't you go and improve it? Why don't you go and help that guy? Why don't you change it? So people, instead of changing things, because this is your job as a manager to improve, isn't it? Your job is not to report to me. And then he said in a meeting, I remember I was sitting with him with the executive director, and he shared, we made a mistake in the last 2 years. We have created a culture of complaint. Everyone is coming with complaint. No one is coming with solutions. And I want to change that culture. So the executive director said, let's be honest, sir. It is you who promoted this. Right? So you promoted it. Now you are getting the returns. So this is what I mean by, when you give bad examples, when you promote people just because they shared something negative. So what sometimes people are very weird, they will create negative situations so that they are noticed. Anyway, I don't want to go deeper into it, but what simply I want to tell you is that we need to move from perceptions to performance. And that starts from the organizational level. So let's review some methods. We can divide methods into two parts, traditional and modern. Naturally, traditional methods are more about perception management, whereas modern methods try to measure the performance of individuals. One of the oldest method is ranking method, that we need to rank people. So it has its own pros and cons. We'll quickly discuss. Let's say we have 3 people in my team, Margot, Sam, Sally. And the only way we can rank people is by comparing them, right? And comparison can happen in pairs. If we do not have the right measurement scale, then the only way to compare people is by making pairs. Let's compare Margot with Sam. Who is better? Margot is better. Now compare Sam with Sally. Who is better? Sally is better. Right? Second step. Now Margot and Sally are in competition. Who is better? Margot is better. Okay. So Margot 1, Sally 2, Sam 3. This is how we can rank. It's a simple way of ranking people. Now, what is wrong with this? So can anyone share? What do you think? What is wrong with this method? What gaps you see in this? Yes, no proper evaluation, true. There is no scale, yes. Accuracy, subjective. Very good. So, like Maria she is saying, it is subjective. It depends on the individual. For example, what do you mean by subjective? Let's say we have 3 individuals, Yogesh, Aya, and Tawfiq. If we ask 3 people to rank these 3 people, it is possible that we all 3 come with different rankings. Why? Because we think differently. Now, this idea actually came, the ranking method was used for small platoons in the armed forces. So, it comes from the US military and forces. So, let's see what is the logic. Let's say my logic is Margot is number 1 because Margot is very courageous. She entered in the enemy lines with AK-47. She killed 5 people. She is number 1. She is most courageous. We need courageous people in our army. Now, Aya will come into picture. If she's reviewing the performance, she will say, no, it is Sally. Sally is a planner. Margot is a fool. She might have killed herself and other people also in that operation. But Sally, she always plans before executing anything. So it was Sally's plan which saved Margot's life. Right? So as a performer, I want someone who can plan well and think rather than take the gun and just start shooting. So Sally is number 1. right? Now, Tawfiq may come up with a different perspective. He'll say, guys, for me, number one is Sam. Because Sam provided all the ammunition and he provided all, he was reading the map, he was communicating, and he was doing all the background work which made the operation successful. Now, if you see why we can have three different ratings, even in the case of three people, is because the perspective of the reporting manager is different, right? And everyone, each individual out of us, we have certain strengths and we have certain weaknesses. If you look at my strengths, I am a good performer. When you start looking at my weaknesses, I have become a bad performer, the same person. So it depends on the view. So it's highly subjective. You're right. We need to make it objective. That's one problem. Second problem, can we rank people if we have a big number, let's say 100 people, 500 people? Can you rank them like this? Answer is no. Because you cannot do paired comparison for 500 people, right? It can only be done for a small number of people. So slightly better way is to create clear scales, clear rating scales. So two improvements happen in this graphic scale rating. Number one, we defined different traits. Instead of generalizing, now we are going more specific. Okay, so performance means attendance. You should be in office. That is the first thing. Second thing, your behavior should be good. Third, you should be sincere. Fourth, you should be dependable. If you have all of it, you are performing. Now that is one improvement. Second improvement is attendance means what? Again, there can be a different view on attendance, right? One reporting manager can be really lenient, whereas one first reporting manager can be very strict. So attendance one stands for, let's say, below 80% or below 90% is one. Then 100% attendance is 10 out of 10. Behavior towards subordinate means if you get 0 complaints, then maybe you're 5. If you get 5, I don't know how your company is going to measure, but some companies will have these cross-departmental, appreciations. So if you got 1 appreciation from other department, you will get 6. You will get 5, you get 3, you will get 10. It can be any of your, you can have a simple scale also. Not if you are not having such rewards in the company, you can have a simple scale. Now, third is sincerity. Now, again, it's how you are going to measure sincerity of a person. Again, it's very weird measurement tool. So it's a trait which is hard to measure. For example, again, I can give you same example of 3 people, me, Aya, and Tawfiq. If you ask about sincerity of a person, we 3 will answer differently. I would say, oh my God, he's very sincere. He only he's in office 95% of the time. 1 or 2 days in a month, he's taking an unpaid leave. That's fine because I take 3 or 4. So for me, he's a model, right? So he's super sincere for me because I myself take 4 offs in a month. He's taking 2. So he's very sincere. But for Tawfiq, he's not sincere at all because he has 100% attendance. So for me, Tawfiq will say 5 out of 10. I would say 10 out of 10. So again, sincerity, we need to further measure what do you mean by sincerity and what do you mean by level 1 to level 10. And same way, dependability will also vary. So there are some improvements, but again, there are problems in this system as well. So one of the problem in this system is that all the jobs may not require all these rating scales. This is just an example which I gave. Usually these number of traits are more, 15, 20, in some cases even more than that. Right? So is attendance important for everyone in the company? And is sincerity important for everyone in the company? It's all debatable. Let me show you an example. We are going to cover this here. So for example, this is the kind of sheet that you will find in many companies. We call it employee performance review. I just downloaded it from internet, and many companies do that. They just download it from internet and they start using. Yes. Okay. You want him to also have a good attitude. Okay, fine. But tell me, do you want initiatives from a security guard, that he should be creative, he should take initiatives? The answer is no. Because if he's creative or he's trying to be creative every time, then he will miss his core job. You want him to follow the standard operating procedures of the company. You want him to be very, very sincere with the process rather than showing creativity by doing, because when you do creativity, you make mistakes, isn't it so? Can you allow a security guard to make mistakes? The answer is no. Can you allow a cashier to make mistakes? No. There you need. But can you allow a marketing person to make mistakes? Yes. Because can you allow an R&D manager to make mistakes? Yes. Because without mistakes, they are not going to be innovative. So in departments where innovation is required, mistakes are accepted. But there are some departments where mistakes cannot be accepted. Can you allow mistake from a payroll officer, for example? No. But can you allow mistake from a public speaker, a trainer? Yes. Yes. Because it's a creative job. You understand the job is creative. So sometimes the trainer may be wrong, but he is improving. Next time he's improving. That's fine. Because the job is such, it's a very creative job. There is no straight process to follow. He need to process information in his mind when he's sharing, and sometimes he may be wrong, but if he's improving, that's good. So different natures of our jobs require different traits. So I don't want a security guard to be taking initiatives and creativity, but I want him to be punctual. I want him to be dependable. I want him to be having good attendance, etc. Now look at a different role. Salesperson. Let's say you have a salesperson. He's very punctual. His attendance is 100%, and he has a good attitude. But he never achieves his sales target. What you will do with him? In most of the organizations, salespeople, they are never judged, or their performance is never evaluated on the basis of their attendance. Isn't it so? Right? You don't care whether they come to office or not. I don't care. What I care is revenue. Show me the revenue. I don't. You sit at home. Most of the salespeople, they are not bound by attendance, right? And even one of my CEO, he used to say that if salespeople are sitting in office, they are just wasting electricity and resources of the company. They are not doing their job. They should be always outside in the field, obviously depending on the nature of the sales. Yeah? So if you are in that kind of sales, you should be outside in the field. Another example would be, think about a cashier, for example. Do you want the cashier to be enthusiastic? So here enthusiasm is something that you need, right? So do you need cooperation and enthusiasm from a cashier? So enthusiasm means that he's always excited, full of energy, and when you come up with a let's say invoice or a payment that needs to be done, the cashier is already there jumping, and he say, okay, give me this voucher, take the cash, I will look at voucher later. Why don't you just take the cash and leave a next one? No, you want him, his job is to take the voucher, check it once, check it twice, right? And then check it with the system, compare it with the system, it's the same amount, yes. And then he will keep the voucher aside. Then he should count the cash, he should check the notes if they are fake or they are fine, and then he should pay you, isn't it? This is his job, rather than being enthusiastic and doing entries very fast and just issuing you. No. So see, this is what I want to tell you is that this form is not the right approach to manage. It cannot manage performance because different people require different traits in their job depending on the job that you are in. Okay, so maybe it's a better idea to design one form for each department. Instead of this, better is to design a form for each department which is relevant to that particular department. Okay. So I hope now you have understood why even if we use the graphic scale rating, still it is not going to help us. So now we come to the modern method, which is very famous. In 1954, Peter Drucker, he came up with the management by objective, which is famous around the world today. And what is management by objective, as the name suggests? Somebody said both these methods which we discussed and all the traditional methods, somewhere these methods are subjective. So the problems are, these methods are subjective. The chances of raters bias are high, and they are not integrated with organizational performance. These are common problems. Now, to remove all these problems, we can apply the management by objective. We can talk about it. What is this? So the first thing is, as the name suggests, manage people by objective. Your performance management should have objectivity, not subjectivity. Okay. Also, there is no place of bias in the management by objective. and we will learn in the coming slides how that is possible. And third, management by objectives should be integrated with organizational goals. So let me go through it once so you will understand. So step number 1 for MBO is to set the organizational goals. That is step number 1. Set organizational goals or define organizational goals. Sometimes as a consultant, when I visit companies, they ask us to create KRA, KPI or a balanced scorecard for departments. I always ask, the first question is obviously, what are your organizational goals? Unfortunately, many companies I find either they don't have the organizational goals, which is very rare, but most common is they don't have well structured organizational goals. That's the common issue. Like companies, the CEOs will tell us we need 10% increase in the revenue. Every CEO will have something in terms of revenue and profit, some target. But what they are not clear is how they are going to achieve this 10% increase in revenue. Are they going to launch new products, new services, or they are going to reach out to more customers, or they are going to increase the prices? There should be some reason why you have 10% and not 20% increase in revenue as your target, isn't it? So that should be clear, that not only you need to have the goals for the department, for the finance, but you should have goals for the other perspectives also. So to understand it better, we can talk about a tool called balanced scorecard. Some of you have already heard about it. Some of you may not know what is balanced scorecard. So as the name suggests, balanced scorecard simply means having balanced goals in the company. So how do we? First, I will explain what is balanced scorecard and then how we implement it. As the name suggests, balanced scorecard means creating goals which are balanced in the 4 areas, 4 perspectives. And why these perspectives are necessary, not only important, but necessary, we will discuss that. So every company wants to increase its revenue. Every company wants to increase the profit. Every company has financial goals like profits, revenue, cost cutting, cost reduction, etc. So every company has these targets. But first, these targets should be smart, isn't it? What is smart? Specific, measurable, measurable, achievable. Sorry, my keyboard is not working properly, so I will just. Okay. R stands for realistic and T stands for time bound. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time bound. These are 5 essential elements in a target or a goal. So when I say I want to increase my profit, then what I should say, I have to be more specific. So I want to increase 10% of my profit by selling this particular product or service, or by increasing my customer share in this region. So that will be more specific and measurable. This is the current customer share. We want to increase customer share from 5 to 7. Okay, so now it's specific, it is measurable also. Then achievable, it should be achievable, realistic and relevant for your industry. You should look at the industry, the situations, the competition, etc. And then time bound. There should be a time bound within 1 year. So that's an example of having a smart target. Now, let's say you want to increase revenue by 10%. Second is customer. Who will give you the revenue? The customer. So what you will give to the customer so that your revenue can increase? So what customer want from you? They want better products, right? Or better services. So you can target to launch a new product, you can target to launch a new service, you can target to maybe improve the current service. Your goal can be customer retention. Your goals can be increase in the market share. These are just examples, okay? So these can be your customer goals. How you are going to achieve these customer goals? Like how you will make your products better? The answer is by focusing on internal business processes. So I will improve, let's say I will improve my R&D line, research and development line. So the place where R&D is happening, I will improve it. I will improve the infrastructure. Maybe I will hire a better team, right, to get better products. How I will increase my customer retention? I will create a customer service department. Example, these all are examples, all right? So your goals will vary depending on your company's situation, number of years in the market, reputation in the market, etc., etc. Okay. So third, for example, you want to increase the customer market, increase the market share. So how you can increase the market share? By reaching out to more people, obviously. So let's say we will start our digital marketing team. We will create a digital marketing department, or we will create processes for digital marketing. That is our internal business process. Other examples of internal business process are having a new software, improving your supply chain, improving your standard operating procedures. All these are examples of internal business processes. Okay. Now, fourth, you want to do all this. You want to improve all your internal business processes. My question is, how and who? Who will do it? People from within the company will do it, right? Either from within the company or from outside. These people will do it. But how they will do it? They will do it only if you invest in their learning. So what it means is, Either you will hire from outside or you will train your internal resources, right? All these are examples of learning and growth. Learning and growth is also known as people and leadership. Okay. So, any doubts so far? The best way to remember is why we start any business: for money, right? For profits. So that's the financial goal. We start for money and profits. Second, who will give you money and profits? Answer is customer. So second perspective is customer. So we need to have some customer goals. Now, how you will achieve your customer goals? Because of strong internal business processes, right? Who will create strong internal business processes? People. So people inside the company. And how they will do it? If we invest in their learning, their training, or we hire talent from outside. So these are the four perspectives of balanced scorecard. The idea of balanced scorecard was given by Robert Kaplan, David Norton, two McKinsey consultants. And in 1996, they first time published this idea into Harvard Business Review, and it became really popular and successful after that. A similar concept comes into lean management in Japan, like Toyota. They use Hoshin Canary. Hoshin Canary is very different than balanced scorecard, but Hoshin Canary inspires the balanced scorecard. Because even in Hoshin Canary, they talk about organizational goals. And it starts with organizational goals, like balanced scorecard. So it's a simple, you can say it's a simplified version. It's very different also, and simplified version of Hoshin Canary. But in modern, all the Westerners, they call it balanced scorecard. Okay. So that was the first step. Second step is define employee objectives or employee goals. All right. So yeah, Mohammed. So when we are saying financial goals, you can see the direct linkage. Let's say your financial goal is to improve revenue by 5%. Okay. If you want to increase the revenue by 5%, second question you have to ask is, but who will give this money? Revenue is money. Who will give this money to me? Answer will always be the customer. So you need to set some customer goal so that you can get 5% money. If you don't give anything to the customer, how this 5% will be materialized, realized? No, it won't be realized. So you can set a financial goal, but you will achieve the financial goal only if you give something to the customer. You cannot achieve that by hitting your salespeople, that either you achieve it or you will be terminated. Now that is going to guarantee you revenue enhancement by 5%. You have to think from the customer end now. So what I can give to my customer, some additional service maybe to the existing customer, or I have to reach out to more customers. Increase my customer database and reach out to more customers. So we have to think the customer perspective now. So you can see the connection between financial and customer, right? There is a clear connection, financial and customer. Now, third is from customer to internal business process. Why more customer will sign up for your services and products? You need to create something in your internal business processes. Maybe a better marketing, isn't it? Maybe better customer service, better research and development, better supply chain management, so better employees. So you have to give some value in your internal business processes so that your customer gives you more revenue. So that's how it connects with the internal business process. Now fourth, every company wants to have strong internal business process. If you ask any of the companies, they all will say, yeah, we want to have the best processes in the market. Now the question is, then why don't you have it? And the answer will always be, either you are not focusing on training and development of your people, or you don't have the right people and right culture in the company. That is the fourth perspective: learning and growth, people and capability, people and leadership. So what we will do, we will invest in the capability building, skill building, competency enhancement of our people, right? That will lead to strong internal process. Now it is clear? Yeah? Great, thank you. All right, Mohammed. So let's move on now. So first is absolutely, I hope, clear the first step to everyone. Now we go to the next step. Define employee objectives. So now the big question. If you have set organizational goals, how to link organizational goals with the individuals? You can see here, defining organizational goals. You have set the organizational goals. Now you have to link these goals with the employee or individuals. That's the second step, which is also difficult. So how you link organizational goals with the employee goals? Let's try to answer this question. Now in this process, the first step is to create key result areas. Now some people get confused and they may not be able to differentiate between KRA and KPI. KRA is a key result area and KRA is qualitative. Okay. Whereas KPI is quantitative. What it means? KRA in itself is not measurable, whereas KPI is measurable. Right? So usually KRA in itself is not measurable, whereas KPI is always measurable. That's why we call it quantitative. Now let me show you some examples from the HR manager's job so that it becomes very clear for all of you. If you ask any HR manager, what are your goals, what is your responsibility, they will say maybe 50, 100 things will come up. Like for example, my job is to post jobs online on the job portals, then review all the applications, then out of those shortlist 10 people minimum, then interview those people, coordinate interviews with the line managers and the CEO, schedule interviews for them and myself. Then during the interview, my job is to assess the candidate on certain criteria. Then I send it to the next level and start coordination. Then once salary is negotiated, I finalize the offer and send the offer letter. Then the visa processing starts and it keeps on going. Until exit, you will find hundreds of things this person does, right? But all these are not his KRA. If you ask what is the key result area, you can summarize all the first 10 steps into one word, and that is recruitment. From posting the job or preparing a job description till onboarding the person, all can be summarized into one word: recruitment and onboarding, right? So now if let's say I gave you, let's say Tawfiq's KRA is recruitment and onboarding, and I want to evaluate after 1 year how he did in recruitment and onboarding. So if I don't have a KPI, then again I have to rely on my perception of Tawfiq. I saw you doing a lot of interviews and you hired a lot of people last year. So I mean that was a good performance, Tawfiq. You've done a good job. But there were some positions which you were not able to fulfill, and I got complaint from the CEO that Tawfiq is not doing properly, and also few of the people that you hired left the company. So I think I should give you 7 out of 10. Now again, this is not performance management, although it is better than the previous method, right? At least I am making my guesses on some objective. It is objective, but still there is a bias of the rater which can play a role here. So I want to remove the bias completely. For that, what I can do, I can do quantitative. I can have a quantitative parameter, quantitative review of the performance through KPI. Like I said, KPI means key performance indicators. They are always quantitative. So what we will do, okay, for Tawfiq, let's give him average lead time to hire people. So me and Tawfiq will sit together and we will finalize that I think you should be able to hire a person within 60 days or 45 days or whatever is our time. On an average, I can understand you will hire someone in 10 days, someone in 1 month, but some positions are difficult. So it may take 3 months also. But on an average, you must hire everyone within 60 days. Now that's a quantitative number that me and Tawfiq agreed and we finalized it as his KPI. Okay. Now, not only hiring these people within that many time, but also performance of these people once they join. Which means, are you hiring the right people or not? Quality of hiring. So let's give him a target, 80%. Whosoever joins, his performance, average performance should be 80% after probation, which is 6 months. So we will conduct a review after 6 months, and on an average, people should get 80% score whom you hire. Now, some people may get 90, 100, some people may get 60, 70. Below 60, we will remove from the company. That average should be 80 for you. Now, that's another KPI. Okay, so, sorry, so there was a mistake here. Here, this is weightage of the KPI. It's not the target. So target will be here. Like I said, 60 days is target. 80% is the target. Here, what we are doing is weightage of this KPI. Like first you need to define weightage of your total KRA. So it's like, subjects. You all are aware. Let's say in this topic, we have 4 subjects. These are the 4 subjects. Each subject will carry, total should be 100. So let's say each subject carries 25%. You can change that depending on your company's requirement. So out of 25, 15% is for the time and 10% is for quality of people. Okay, training and development, 15% of executing this training and 10% for the effect of the training. So similarly, you can change it if you want to do 20, 10, 10, 10. It depends on you and your company's requirement. But in the end, the total should be 100. I hope it is clear to everyone so far. All right. So step by step, like I was explaining, there is a KRA, there is a KPI. Okay. Then weightage of each KPI. It varies, depends on your organizational needs. You can change it. Fourth step is target. You need to have a target for each KPI, like 60 days, 80%. I gave you examples, no? Now, out of 60, let's say your target was to hire within 60 days average, but you hired in 70 days. Did you achieve your target? The answer is no, you did not achieve. So, next is, what is the percentage of the score that you achieved? So my target was 60. Let me show you how this calculation happened. My target was to achieve within 60 days, but I actually achieved in 70 days. Then I will multiply it by 100. So total 86%, 85.8 or something like that. So my score is 86%. Now, what should be my weightage of the KPI achieved? So my total weightage for this KPI was 15. And if I take 86% of the 15, it comes out to be nearly 13. So 13 is my final score for the first KPI. I want everyone to look at it and tell me if they have understood it or not. It's very simple. Okay, so I hope clear for everyone. Great. Wonderful. So now we will move forward. Now, if you have understood these two steps, all other steps are very easy to understand. Third step is continuously monitor, because now you have created a scale range, no? You already have a scale which you can review whenever you want. So you need to continuously monitor the performance of your people. An interesting question can be, after how long we should evaluate the performance? And my answer will be as soon as possible, as soon as you can. You should continuously monitor the performance and progress of a person and try to evaluate as soon as is possible for you, your company. Now, it will vary company to company, industry to industry. For example, in retail, you can evaluate performance of a retail salesperson every day, right? There are numbers every day. So you can, every day you can evaluate. In production, you can evaluate productivity or production output every day. There are industries where it is possible. Then there are industries where it is not possible. So you may have monthly, quarterly, and then even annually. Like if I have a big organization, 1,000 people, I cannot have everyday evaluation of every person. Impossible. But I may have a quarterly evaluation or biannual evaluation. So that is your performance evaluation of the scale that we just understood. And then providing the feedback. So it is very important to provide them with constructive feedback, the areas where they can improve. And then finally, the step of performance appraisal. Now you can say whether the person deserves an increment, if the person deserves an appraisal or not. That's the final step in the management by objective. Okay. So I hope everyone has understood this process. So what are the benefits? It focuses on the objectives, like we discussed. It reduces ambiguity. People are clear. This is my goal. This is what I have to do. It leads to better management. It leads to motivation of your people. And it identifies the performance levels of your people. Okay, so what are the problems? Managers' attitude. Sometimes managers don't like this. Why managers don't like it? Especially when you first time you want to implement it. Many managers are against this process. Why? Anyone? What may be the potential reason why managers may not like it? Right. You are right. They may not fully understand it. They may think it's a long process. But in most of the cases, the real reason is you are taking power away from the managers, and this is why they don't like it. Because earlier, yes, the perception is not entertained. Because earlier they could have a say on your performance, right? Like I gave you example of in case of Tawfiq. Earlier, I could say, I'm not really impressed, and I will give 5 out of 10 to your performance. But if we have implemented such a framework, then Tawfiq will say, look at my KPI, look at my numbers. How you can give me 5? I'm achieving 9. So I cannot give him 5. Even if I want to give him 5, I cannot. Because the system will not allow me. And this is what many managers initially will not like. But within 1 or 2 years, this is again my experience, after 2 years, they understand power of the system. Oh, I don't have to do anything. I have to make sure that my team achieves their KRA. I will achieve mine automatically. After 2 years, they understand this. And then they empower their team. When you don't have a system like this, what happens? The line managers, they always keep certain cards in their hands, right? They want their power to stay. They want their team to be dependable on them. But when you have a system like this, their approach is empower them so that they can achieve their goals If they achieve, I achieve, which leads to performance and not politics. Okay. All right. So there are a couple of methods which we will discuss before we go. I think one more we can discuss, then we go for a break. Is behaviorally anchored rating scales. You see, if a person is achieving all his goals, like imagine a salesperson always achieving his sales targets. If I ask, is it sufficient just to achieve your targets in a company? Or you need to do more than that? Let's say my goal as a recruiter is to hire these people and good people. If I hire them, is it sufficient or I have to maybe do something else in the company? The answer is I need to follow the company values, culture, and I need to show the right behavior, even if I achieve all these goals. Yes or no? I cannot say, oh, I hired all people now, so just send my salary in my account. I'm sitting at home because I have hired everyone. So there is no point of coming to office now, right? I have achieved my KRA. Or I cannot be bossing around and disturbing other people because, oh, I have achieved, you guys are idiots, I don't know how much time you take to achieve your numbers. You will find many people like this when you implement it. I remember a salesperson, and fortunately what happened, we got some good customers, and he consistently achieved his targets for 1 year because these customers were repeating orders. And he was like on the cloud 9, and he was saying that, okay, I'm driving the business, I'm driving the company now, I'm the best salesperson in the company. He became arrogant and he started misbehaving with people in the company. Like he will call the warehouse manager and shout at him if his customer has not received the delivery, and he will then call the CEO. And with CEOs and management, if you have a person who is getting numbers, they often listen to him, isn't it? So he will call the CEO, and he will never say that I am making a demand which is not right, but they will say, I believe in excellence and we have got all these numbers, but warehouse people, they are lazy, they don't just want to work, and I call them and they're saying that we cannot send after 6:30. So now the CEO calls the warehouse person, and then he explains, sir, there is no one to pick it now. Who will deliver it, obviously, after 6:30? So all the people have left. Plus, if I try to load it, then even our courier is not working after 6:30. So there is no point. We have to wait till tomorrow. Now, this leads to certain issues in the organization, and people in the company start feeling that in this company, there are no value system. There is no culture. They only work for money. Because sales team is giving them money, they care about sales team. They are getting incentives, they are getting this, that. Nobody cares about us, which is not going to help the organization in any way. So that is why it is important to make sure that your people also stick to the values and behaviors which you want them to, the values which they should live every day in the organization. So we need system like bars or 360. But bars is a behaviorally anchored rating scale which is not very popular. The reason is it is costly and it is not practical for every industry. But in industries like hospitality, hotels like all the multinational hotels like Hyatt, Marriott, they have these bars prepared by subject matter experts or psychologists, and they help the company to understand behavior of the person and find out areas of improvement. Like I said, advantage is that it can focus on the right behavior, but disadvantage, it is difficult to develop for your own company. You cannot do it without help of external consultant. That's the drawback. Okay. So for that purpose, we have 360. All right. So we'll take a break now. So it's 10, almost 10:30, I believe. So we'll be back at 10:45. All right.